Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with many cars outside a hotel. A man named Daniel is asked what's going on inside, and the chief informs him he sent his best man in. Inside the hotel, Commissaire Gibbert and Alain hide behind a wall, observing a cleaning lady they suspect is a terrorist. When she appears, they arrest her and stuff her into a bag. Gibbert labels the substance on her cleaning cart as toxic and informs Daniel. Gibbert calls Emilian, who rushes out of the door in a hurry, causing Gibbert to accidentally collide with the door and fall. Emilian kisses Petra and heads to Djibril Ciss's room, where an interview is taking place. Guards stop him, but once they see his police ID, they allow him in. Inside, Emilian shows his ID to Djibril Ciss, who gives him an autograph. Gibbert arrives, and they all meet the Olympic player. Together, they leave in a police car, and Gibbert talks to Djibril Ciss, but they end up colliding with a truck. After Gibbert deals with the truck driver, Emilian takes the initiative and settles into the front seat of the car. Running out of time, he opts for a fast car. Then Daniel brings a supercar that runs at a plane speed. Both of them hop into the supercar through the car window. The car zooms forward at an incredible pace, prompting the ETA team to receive a message about it. When one of their team members attempts to measure the car's speed, his clothes are torn off due to the incredible speed. The ETA team manages to measure the speed, which clocks in at 312 km per hour, bringing joy to both Emilian and Daniel. Djibril Ciss, inside the car, changes into his football uniform and shoes, and provides information to an RJ through the radio. While Djibril Ciss is sprinting along the road at the speed of a missile, the news flashes on TV that he is leaving Super. The host takes the stage inside the football ground, and players announce that if Djibril Ciss doesn't show up within 2 minutes, he could be thrown out of the game. Daniel drives the car directly from the parking lot into the stadium. The umpire hands the football to Djibril Ciss, and he kicks it. Daniel and Emilian watch the match from the car in the stadium. When the umpire threatens a yellow card, both of them make a swift exit. The football frenzy continues as boys are shown playing football on the seashore, by the roadside, in parking lots, and even elderly women are seen joining in the fun, kicking the football. A small child is the last to kick the ball. Transitioning to a football ground, boys are seen practicing. Daniel and Emilian bring their children Leo and Max to play at the same football ground. They sit in the audience, watching their kids play, and Emilian shares thoughts with Daniel about life and parenthood. After Leo accidentally kicks the football, hitting Max and earning him a red card, Daniel tries to tell Emilian, but he's too engrossed in a call with Gibbert, talking about himself and ignoring Daniel's attempts. While Emilian is occupied, a football hits Gibbert on the head. In frustration, he breaks the football and throws it out the window, only to realize there's a cop outside who assigns them a task. Emilian, realizing there are only 5 minutes left, goes to Daniel and the kids. They witness Emilian, Daniel and other officers eating at a restaurant, trying to hide Leo and Max. In the process, they accidentally get cake on their faces, and Daniel covers his mouth with paper. Meanwhile, Emilian and Alain attempt to leave the car, but Gabriel stops them. Emilian fails to recognize Max. Gibbert and the man have a brief conversation, after which the woman kisses him and leaves. Emilian, still unable to recognize Max, accompanies Gibbert and the police officers to an army airport, to meet General Edmond Bourdonneau and obtain a container from the airplane. As they leave, Gibbert falls from the truck, unnoticed by the others. General Edmond Bourdonneau calls Gibbert's attention to the fallen container through the mirror. When it breaks, causing chaos, all the other cars accidentally fall due to the mishap. On the flip side, the police are indulging in a game of golf, and Serge, sitting in the Ranger car, evades them. He sneaks into Gibbert's office, and installs a device on the computer to extract data. Daniel arrives at the office with Bacho, settling him in front of the computer. The kids leave that space and venture into Gibbert's cabin, where they discover Serge. Daniel then encounters Marley, and the two sneak off to the bathroom to smoke cigarettes discreetly. Hearing Gibbert's voice, Daniel hastily tosses the cigarette out the window, hitting Gibbert on the head. Entering the office, he reunites with Marley, and in Gibbert's cabin, he introduces Serge as an IT expert, instructing the kids to leave. Daniel sits with Serge, and there's a humorous moment as Serge's cigarette hovers above his head, resembling a thought bubble. Daniel notices children playing computer games. Emilian joins them, and they engage in a conversation. Daniel decides to take the kids to their grandfather, General Edmond Bourdonneau, and asks him to babysit them for 2 hours. Meanwhile, Serge's men wait for him outside the police station, while Gibbert and Serge play office games. Alain arrives, and they all head to the container location where Emilion is already present. Upon opening the container, they find a man named Robert inside. Serge leaves the police station and sits in the car. Inside, Robert writes Pippi on the board, indicating he needs to use the bathroom. Emilion, carrying a pipe from a machine, heads to the bathroom, where he smokes a cigarette. Accidentally, Robert's injection hits Gibert's leg, causing him to lose consciousness. The police officers rush to pick Gibert up and take him to a cabin, attempting to wake him up. Emilion and Alain approach Robert, who starts swelling due to excessive water filling. Upon opening the container, they initially mistake him for Albert, a criminal in 17 countries, but discover his real name is Eugene. Checking the computer, they confirm his identity as Eugene, realizing Serge had altered his name. They call the Belgian embassy for confirmation, and Serge, receiving the call, falsely claims Eugene left 3 days ago. After hearing the story, Emilion goes to see Gibert, finding other cops slapping him to wake him up. Unaffected, Emilion calmly takes a hit from a prisoner's junk. Meanwhile, Daniel heads to pick up the children, only for General Edmond Bertineau to detonate a real bomb while the kids are playing at home. Daniel quickly grabs them and leaves. Emilion observes Eugene in prisoner's clothes, breaking the glass of the cabin while attempting to swat a fly. Then Emilion lets Eugene go. Daniel exits the police station in his taxi, and Eugene hops into the same cab, squeezing himself between Leo and Max. As the car starts moving, Eugene feels queasy, vomits, and decides to get out of the car. Serge then takes charge of Eugene. A group of people, including Petra, keeps a watchful eye on Eugene, who is revealed to be a criminal. Petra arrives and kisses Eugene. Meanwhile, the animal doctor revives Gibert by injecting him with his gun. Later at night, Emilion confesses to Daniel about the mistake he made, leaving the criminal world and feeling like a useless cop. They decide to stake out the location where Daniel dropped off Eugene, keeping an eye on him throughout the night. In the morning, Eugene disguises himself and leaves. Daniel spots Petra, but Emilion refuses to recognize her. Then both Daniel and Emilion pursue the Belgian's cars. Emilion attempts to talk to the Belgian, but he refuses to engage in conversation. The Belgian enters a bank and instructs them to meet Edward there. Inside the bank, Edward, the Belgian's brother, sees his true identity, causing a delayed reaction. After receiving a response from the Delta team, Petra enters the bank with some members of the Delta team, and Emilion keeps a close watch on them. Emilion starts to enter the bank, but Daniel stops him. Petra enters the bank, and Edward, frightened, grants her permission, allowing her to mimic his appearance with makeup. The three of them, along with their partners, go to the locker room, take out a gadget from the bag, and place it inside a locker. Outside, Emilion and Gibert wait for them. The Belgian arranges coffee on the table at Petra's request. When a Delta team member re-enters the bus with a parcel, Daniel becomes suspicious and alerts Emilion. The Belgian takes the coffee, and Petra opens the locker using information from the Delta team. Serge forces Edward to apply the Belgian's makeup, and relays this information to the Belgian over the phone. Edward, now resembling the Belgian, exits the bank. Emilion spots Edward, informs Gibert, and they surround him with all the police cars, mistakenly believing him to be the Belgian, leading to his arrest. Gibert shares the news with Emilion, who is delighted to hear about Edward's arrest. Meanwhile, Daniel informs them that the Belgian and 6 others are in 2 cars with bags, raising suspicions. When they both observe the Belgian, the Delta team also appears disturbed by his presence. Daniel begins chasing their cars. Simultaneously, at the police station, Gibert, at his request, has Alain beat Edward. Gibert then instructs everyone to leave, and tortures Edward using an audio player. The Delta team's cars break down as smoke starts emanating from their heads. The Belgian receives a call about the Royal Bank of Belgium and heads there. Arriving at the palace, the Belgian attempts to force himself with a letter, but Petra intervenes. She locks herself in her room, and calls the Delta team, who inform her about sending reinforcements. Elsewhere, Emilion calls Gibert for backup, and Gibert informs him that the Belgian has confessed. However, Emilion clarifies that the real Belgian is still in the Colombian villa, prompting Gibert to shout a red alert. Changing into a disguise, Emilion goes to Petra and the Belgian's room, opening a wine bottle with guns. As Emilion hears a gunshot, he becomes alert, and hands an earphone to Daniel before going inside. While climbing the wall and moving through the trees, Emilion accidentally falls onto a man's car. Inside, the Belgian and Petra dance, and they bring Emilion in front of the Belgian. Petra attempts to save Emilion by offering herself to the Belgian. He allows her to do so, referring to her as a gift. When Emilian refuses, she throws him against the wall. Gibbert arrives with his team, and the police start firing. In the chaos, Petra and Emilian fall into the water, causing the earphones to malfunction, and Daniel is unable to be contacted. Gibbert continues firing randomly, and the Belgian hangs on the wall. As Gibbert slips and falls, he grabs a big gun and fires randomly, causing him to lose balance. Amidst the chaos, Daniel arrives with his supercar, catches the Belgian, and rescues Petra and Emilian. Petra and Emilian share a kiss in the car. The police open the trunk of the Belgian's car, surround him, and after talking to the police chief, lock him in an army tank and take him away. When the chief credits Daniel, he graciously passes all the credit to Emilian. Gibbert is seen enthusiastically enjoying a football match, while Daniel and Emilian watch it with their children. It seems like Gibbert is in for a shock when he arrives at the football field. He plays with the football, ultimately hitting it such that the goal post falls. He exclaims "goal" loudly, and Daniel and Emilian burst into laughter. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.